Okay, 3, 2, 1, we're live. We are live. Hi, friends. As always, I love to get a little thumbs up in the chat. It would have to be like a typed up thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me. My incredibly obnoxious microphone is right out in front because I'm not wearing a very good shirt to hide it today. And I'm hoping that my hair doesn't get in the way, all the things. So if you can hear me clearly, it's always nice to let me know. And today we are talking about tests and triggers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this conversation. Welcome to Tuesday Tea at the Healing House. I'm Brienne Grogan. I guess I should start there. And this is my new channel, my new YouTube channel, to explore all things related to getting to know yourself, discovering your own self-worth, feeling more connected to yourself, feeling more powerful within yourself. This is not just about pelvic health, which is what I used to talk about on my Vibrant Pelvic Health YouTube channel. This is new. So this is about the stuff that I love to explore in my personal life. A lot of people don't know that my personal obsession is manifestation, all things personal growth, all things expansion and soul expansion and spirituality and just all the fun things. Some things people might consider woo-woo, and I'm totally fine with that. And all of that kind of multidimensional, in the field, universe stuff is really what I want to talk about here. So that's who this is for. If you're into that too, welcome. And again, today we're talking about tests and triggers. And Dana, thank you for the thumbs up. I see you can hear me. I'm assuming that there's no weird sounds with the mic. Probably when I touch it, it's weird. So Tuesday Tea at the Healing House is our little weekly ritual for weeks that I'm available, which is most Tuesdays. And we grab a cup of tea, we sit down together, and it's a conversation. And so this is not me teaching a lesson. I'm going to share some stories. I'm just going to storytell about my own experiences with tests and triggers recently. And hopefully the reason I'm sharing it is not just to hear myself talk. It's to hopefully bring up some conversation points that might help anyone watching live who can communicate with me and chat with me. I love two-way conversation. It's really weird, just talking to myself. So if you have anything to add to the conversation, please type it in. And of course, anyone who may watch the replay later. So this is December 30th, 2025. And it is not time bounded. So even though I'm recording this live in 2025 at the very end of the year, I'm hoping that this conversation is something that people who might watch the replay could benefit from at any time of year and into the future. Great. Hirako Kuyo says, first time catching this live. I'm just making ginger lemon tea. So perfect timing. Amazing. Pop in where you're, if you're watching live, where you're watching from. I think there might be 8 people watching right now, which is amazing. If you're watching live, just pop in where you're watching from and what you're drinking for tea. I'm going to go pour my tea right now, and then we'll get into the conversation about tests and triggers. But I just wanted to let you know I'm making chamomile sweetgrass tea today. Sakari Farms is a local, I'm not advertising this at all. I just want to say Sakari Farms is a really beautiful native-owned local tea company. Well, they don't just do tea, they do a bunch of things, but it's a really cool local company to me in Central Oregon. So sweetgrass, chamomile sweetgrass tea, it's so good. And then I'm going to put in a few drops of this Divine Truth flower elixir. This is from a company called Lotus Way. Again, I'm not advertising for anybody. I just love this company. It's called Lotus Way. They have the most amazing mists that are all flower essences and some essential oils and all pure natural ingredients. They're so good. You can go onto their website and take this flower quiz and discover exactly what, mist and elixir you may need for you. And it's always shocking how right on. I've taken this quiz several times, and every time I've taken it, probably over the last 2 years, I've taken the quiz 3 times. And every time I take the quiz, it comes up with like a different product that would be great for me. And every time I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I absolutely need that right now. So it's pretty wild. But this Divine Truth flower elixir it says healer, heal thyself. It's for commitment and purpose and authenticity and transparency. And I'm like, yeah, that's perfect for what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to go pour my tea. I'm actually going to put my hair in a ponytail because I'm worried my hair is going to like scratch into the microphone. Okay, so I'm going to walk over, and you should still be able to hear me, but I'm going to pour my tea water. And I am very curious. I think that some people are popping into the chat where they're listening from, which is amazing. So right now, just so you know, I'm pouring my tea water. I know you can't see me. It's a big cup, so it's going to take a second here. I'm coming back, I promise. So pour your own tea. I know we have a ginger tea that's being poured, ginger lemon. I'm doing my chamomile sweetgrass. What are y'all pouring? I want to know. And darn it, I'm out of spoons. So I don't have a spoon to bring in my tea here. Great. Dana is listening from snowy, cold Connecticut. Hilda is listening from the Netherlands. I'm drinking a mix of fennel, nettle, and peppermint tea. Oh my gosh, that sounds really good. And Hirako is watching from Germany. Amazing. And I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Hilda, I don't know if you knew, but I lived in Germany for 12 years. I lived in Germany. My husband worked for the U.S. military in Germany, but it was a U.S. military base. And so I lived in Germany and visited the Netherlands, and I just loved our visit to the Netherlands. And I also foraged my own nettles when we were in Germany, because we had a bunch of nettles near our house. And I foraged my own nettles and made tea for myself when I was in Germany. So there's a little connection there. So I'm brewing my tea. This is my delightful mug, my breast mug. So I always have to show off my mug. I'm going to let my tea brew for probably like 10 minutes or so. Kim is watching from Iowa. Kim, mwah, you know I love you. Okay, let's all take a deep breath. Tamia hi, Tamia, it's so good to... It makes me so happy to see these names popping up, and thank you for typing in the chat like who you are and where you're watching from. Tamia is watching from Hungary, and Tamia and I have a nice relationship on the Instagrams. So if anyone doesn't know, I am just a little quick backstory. Everyone who's watching this knows who I am probably, because otherwise, how would you have even found this channel? But I'm Brianne Grogan. As I said, I'm a physical therapist. I have a brand called Vibrant Pelvic Health. I have a big YouTube channel with 550,000 subscribers. It's a big channel called Vibrant Pelvic Health. I have an Instagram account called Vibrant Pelvic Health. I have a website called Vibrant Pelvic Health. And then I have this new stuff over here. All of my favorite people are joining me over here. So this is Brianne Grogan. This is my more personal channel. I have an Instagram account that is im.briannegrogan. That's more of my deep sharings, my deep meanderings, my more mystical musings. And so anyone who's interested in that, that's what this is for. If you're not interested in that, bless you. And I encourage you to go check out the Vibrant Pelvic Health stuff. This probably isn't for you if you're not really feeling it from the mystical talk. Okay. So, Hilda says, wow, I love that you know my country. Yes. Nettle seeds are also an amazing superfood. I did not know that. Speaking of that, does anyone here, since this is a conversation and we're chatting, does anyone here know about holy basil tea? Or maybe it's just, it's holy basil. So Tulsi, holy basil. I have Tulsi tea that I love. I love blending holy basil, Tulsi, with this particular variety of it with peppermint and rosemary. I have a tea blend and also Go-To Cola. So that tea blend is my favorite for brain health and memory. I love it. But the reason I'm asking this is I also have a bag of holy basil seeds, not to grow, but actually to just sprinkle on as a superfood. And I'm curious to know if anyone else has eaten these holy basil seeds that you don't sprout, you don't grow and plant in a garden, like you just eat them. And I have not opened the bag. I bought this because I'd heard that they were a great superfood. And so I'm like, cool, I'm going to try this. But I haven't actually tried them yet because I don't know how to use them. So if anyone has eaten holy basil seeds just as a seed, let me know. Because part of me is like, well, maybe I should sprout them or try to, I don't know. I'm kind of confused. So let me know. Ah, great. Yes, Heather, you are definitely the favorite. You guys are the favorites. You women are the favorites. Absolutely. And Heli from Finland, wonderful. Oh, I love Finland. I've never been to Finland, but I have a really beautiful friend, Kaisu, who is somebody I've connected with over the years through my business, through my work. And she was a former client, and she's kind of turned into an online friend. And she shares information and videos about Finland with me all the time. So I feel like I know a lot about Finland, even though I've never visited. It seems like the coolest country. Coolest. I mean, that wasn't meant to be a pun, but I'm also like, yeah, coolest. And also like cold and also super cool. So Finland seems like an amazing place. Ah, Heather says we cook with it, Thai stir fry. Okay, so you just cook a Thai stir fry and then sprinkle holy basil seeds into it? Because I've used, Thai basil in Thai cooking, like the leaves, like the fresh leaves, but I've never used the seed, the holy basil seeds. Ah, yeah, not the seeds, the leaves. Yeah. So that's my confusion is I'm like, what do I do with holy basil seeds? I have no idea. Obviously, I can just look this up. And I don't know what inspired me to just buy these seeds on the account that they were supposedly a wonderful superfood. I just have no idea what to do with them. Okay, I love this conversation. I feel like I'm with girlfriends right now, just like hanging out at a coffee shop. And I'm like, what the heck do I do with holy basil seeds? I don't know. You tell me. But maybe we should take a deep breath together and land a little bit. I just think this is really important. I really like to do it every time. So if you are sitting with me, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I really like the way it feels to spiral the heart. And you can look at me if you want to. You probably can't really see anything, but I'm just spiraling my heart like this. I'm seated and I'm just spiraling my heart over my pelvis. So if you want to join me with that, you can. And I'm going to get in a position where I can move a little bit better. Start with little tiny small spirals. And whatever you're doing, try going 20% slower. And make those spirals bigger. And then bigger, like you are swirling up. Everything from 2025, just swirl it up, bigger and bigger. Swirl up this last year. And if you're watching this in the future and 2025 doesn't resonate, just swirl up everything from your day or from your week or from your month. Swirl it up. Let it grow. Slow down that swirl and just let that period of time, whether it's 2025 or your day or your week or your month, just let it blossom. Even if there was some painful moments, even if there was some chaos or difficulty, just let it be there. See it. See all that you went through. And take a deep breath, breathing in gratitude for the experience. Because every experience, even if it's a challenge, teaches us something. Breathe in gratitude for the experience. And then start exhaling what you're ready to let go of. So now make those circles smaller. Like before you were like big circles, like Big. Now start spiraling your spiral inward and a little bit smaller and tighter, like a tighter spiral. As you exhale, what you're ready to release, what you're ready to let go of from that same period of time, whether it's 2025 or the last week or the last month or maybe this day. What are you ready to let go of? One more breath. What are you ready to let go of? Exhale it out. Come up to a nice middle position. And if you were spiraling one direction with those spirals that got bigger and then they got smaller, if you didn't switch directions, because I didn't, go ahead and switch directions now just to kind of even yourself out. You don't have to do the same number. Just do a few spirals the other direction so you don't feel cramped up in your back. And breathing. Inhale gratitude for whatever. And exhaling, something you're ready to let go of. Slow down your spirals 20%. Breathe in gratitude. And exhale, something you're ready to let go of. And then come to stillness back in the middle. Breathe down into your hips, your pelvis, your sacrum. And exhale down through your feet. Twice more. Breathe down into your hips, your pelvis, your sacrum. And grounding down, exhale through your feet. Last time, breathing down into your hips, pelvis, sacrum. Softening. Exhale, grounding down through your feet, softening just a little bit more. Okay. And just stay right in that beautiful state of grounded presence. Hopefully you feel really good. I know that for me, my belly started rumbling and like talking to me, which is always a good sign that we've shifted from sympathetic, beta, alert state, like go mode, to a downshifted, more parasympathetic state when we're in that rest and digest parasympathetic state. The belly starts rumbling, so it's all good. Belly celebrations are delightful. I'm taking out my tea now, so I'm done steeping. I'm going to add in my flower elixir, which, by the way, this has lemon lime prayer plant, desert mallow, chocolate lily, silky fringe, which is a flower, chaparral, sugar bowl, princess flower, pink lotus, and white yarrow. How amazing is this? It's so delicious, and it's got some honey in it too. So I'm just going to put a few drops of this flower elixir, divine truth, into my tea. And let's all cheers to moving forward. Okay, so this is to you, everyone watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching a replay later. Cheers to moving forward. To moving forward with presence and purpose. Oh, that is so good. Okay, I'm feeling great. Okay. Yeah, cheers. I see that in the chat. Yay, cheers to you, Tamaya. Okay, so what we all wanted to talk about today, or at least what I wanted to talk about today, triggers and tests. So, sorry, I'm just getting over a cold that got me over the Christmas holiday, which actually plays into this conversation a little bit. So I wanted to talk about triggers and tests, and I'm not some expert on this. I'm not going to pretend I am, but I just want to have a conversation. And it's funny, like even just having this conversation is a bit of a test, which I'm going to try to define those two a little bit. But it's a bit of a test because I found myself wanting to like study up and like prepare something for today so that I would be giving you something, so that I could feel like I was giving you some information. And like, in a way, part of it is like, so I can feel like an expert, right? Because I've really struggled with this idea of over here on this new channel, Brianne Grogan, where it's less focused than Vibrant Pelvic Health, which was all about pelvic health. And I could feel like the expert. I could feel like, first of all, that feeds my ego. And second of all, it makes me feel like I'm giving you something, like I have information that would help you and I can give it to you. Like, this is what makes me worthy, right? Like, this is my pelvic health information, my doctor of physical therapy and my specialty in pelvic health is what makes me valuable to you and what makes me valuable as a human. Like, that's my deep-seated internal subconscious belief. And I don't like that that's I want to be valuable and worthy just because I exist, not because I have to prove something or prove that I'm, helpful to you. But that's a bunch of like layers of subconscious bullshit that I have to work through. And I've been working through it. I mean, this is my lifelong work. And so on that note, this is a bit of a test for me to come at you today with not being an expert, not at all being an expert on the subject of tests and triggers, just like not really a plan, just wanting to share some things. And I don't really know what I'm going to say. And it's vulnerable and it's scary being like, I don't know if this is going to give you anything, but I hope it will. And it's just me showing up as me and passing the test of the fear that I'm moving through of like, oh God, I don't know I don't exactly know what to say. So anyway, this is me passing a test. So I want to talk about triggers first. We're going to talk about triggers and tests. And I did kind of mentally tease these out a little bit. And this is not really from me, it's more from just the world of knowledge out there. I mean, truly, like there's nothing new under the sun these days, right? We all are sharing information and learning from one another, and it's beautiful, and taking bits and pieces from here, there, and everywhere and reformulating them in our own unique way. And a lot of what I want to share with you today is from a brand called To Be Magnetic. So you may have heard of it. It's TBM, To Be Magnetic. And they have a wonderful program that you can get that takes you through a bunch of manifestation programs. So this is kind of from them, this tests and triggers concept. We all know about triggers. We've probably heard that word. And today I'm not talking about triggers so much in relation to trauma and like having a traumatic experience from your past that may be living in your body being triggered by something. I'm not talking as much about that, although that can certainly play in. I'm more talking about anything. It doesn't have to be triggering a trauma that's living in your body or a traumatic event that happened in the past. It's less about that. It's more just any everyday thing that activates you, that makes you kind of be like, meh. Like you notice that you're triggered. And again, this doesn't have to be a trauma trigger. It's like it's just anything that triggers you. So this I think is interesting because I think sometimes we can almost like gaslight ourselves and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so triggered all the time. And I think a trigger is very different than just having a preference. Like I went to a yoga class yesterday and you could say I was triggered because I was activated. I was like, ugh. But more than anything, it wasn't really a trigger, which a trigger typically in the way I've learned it and the way I've come to understand, and I want to talk about it today, is something that often is showing you something that's actually about yourself, whether it's something that maybe you desire or something that you actually have that you don't love about yourself. Like subconsciously, like it's a part of you and you don't actually like it. And maybe you see it in another person or in something else and you're like triggered by it. But actually, it's showing you that maybe you need to look at that within yourself, right? Like if you see, I'm just going to speak about a friend, right? It's me. Sometimes I'm triggered by people in my life who are maybe a little bit critical or judgmental. I'm a little critical or judgmental, especially about, and I'm going to just say this, about my son. I find myself judging and criticizing my son, and I do not want to do that, but I do. And I am very triggered by some specific people in my life who are critical and judgmental, and it really triggers me. And I have to look at that because I'm like, actually, I have that in myself. So it really can be a mirror of showing something that is actually inside of you that maybe you don't love, and that it's a shadow that and something that could be looked at and explored just with curiosity and with acceptance and compassion and knowing and acknowledgement without like shaming yourself and beating yourself up, but just knowing. A trigger can also be like jealousy or envy, like somebody triggers you and they actually have something that you really admire. And so it's not a bad thing. Like there's some people, I actually get so triggered on by my colleagues on Instagram that I often mute people on Instagram. I'm like, some particular people on social media, like I can't handle seeing their content. It triggers me, it activates me. And it's not because I don't like them or anything like that. It's simply because it triggers a feeling of, I want that. But usually when you have that feeling, you have it inside of you. You wouldn't want it if you didn't think you could have it. And so it's a really good thing. When you find yourself being triggered, it's not bad. It actually just means there's more to explore, okay? So that's triggers. But I also wanted to point out that sometimes things aren't triggers, they're simply preferences. So back to that yoga class that I went to yesterday. I was at this yoga class, and I love this yoga studio that I go to. And in this class, I've been probably 6 or 7 times to this particular Monday evening class. And it's a great class, but every time the teacher teaches the exact same flow. And it's not an Ashtanga yoga class, which I know Ashtanga is pretty much like the same sequence every time. And so I would expect that. But this is just a vinyasa flow class, and every time it's the same. And I was triggered, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know if this is a trigger or if it's simply a preference. Like, that's kind of different. Like, my preference is that there's some variety. So I don't think we need to look at everything that kind of activates us and makes us feel a little bit like, as like, oh my gosh, there's like something I need to dig deeper and work on or look at here. Some things are simply just a preference, okay? Like, my preference is that when I go to yoga, it switches up every once in a while. It's not the same class every time. Otherwise, I would just watch a YouTube video. So curious to know, before we shift bases or gears to tests, if anyone has a trigger in their life that they've dealt with in the last week or the last month or this last year. If you want to kind of look at, I mean, for those of us watching live, this is the end of the year. This is December 30th, 2025. This is a time to kind of reflect back. What has triggered you? What kind of triggers have come up? If you want to share, I know it's personal, so if you don't want to share, that's okay too. But I'm just going to look and see if there's anything here. Yeah. Okay. Hirako says, just humans sharing human experience. Absolutely. That's what we're doing here. And Dana says, I listen to all their podcasts, and she's referring to the To Be Magnetic crew. I love their podcast. Is called Expanded, and it's wonderful. Yes. And we hear, trust yourself, my friend. You have the knowledge. Oh, this is Kaisu. This is Kaisu. Wait, Kaisu. We have two friends from Finland. That's so cool. Kaisu from Finland. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy to have 2 Finnish friends watching right now. Okay. So if anyone wants to share triggers, just pop them in the comments. If not, I'm going to shift gears to tests, because I think that tests is a really cool concept. And in the past, as I said before, I'm so accustomed to lensing everything through pelvic health. I'm so accustomed to saying everything and spinning everything through the lens of healing from a pelvic floor disorder or pelvic floor dysfunction or pelvic floor challenge. And so while I could frame this conversation about tests and triggers as to how it may relate or pertain to someone who's healing from pelvic floor concerns or dealing with pelvic floor troubles, I might or I might not. Like that's old, Brie. I'm talking to more. This is beyond the pelvic floor. Yes, all of this can apply to anything, any aspect of your life that you're dealing with, career, love, health, children, whatever it may be. All the aspects of life, these tests and triggers can be applied to. So for health and healing, absolutely this conversation, we could lens it through pelvic health and healing. But I think I want to talk about it more toward just a little more general and a little more personal things I thought I'd share with you as an example. And I have to remember what those are. I had some examples. I know what it was. So just as I'm talking, please share in the comments like how this applies to you, how you may have been through tests and triggers in the past, how you've moved through it, how it's really shown you, because the cool thing about tests and triggers is they are signs of an opportunity to up level, of an opportunity for growth, of an opportunity for expansion, of an opportunity to look deeper, which always means growing. And a lot of people, like you're only watching this, you're only 32 minutes into this conversation because you're interested in that. And I'm just going to say it bluntly, like you're different. You're different than a lot of the world. A lot of the world they don't know that this is possible, or they're not interested. And that's okay. Like it's not their path. Not everyone wants to look deeper. And I have many people in my life who also don't want to look deeper, and that's okay. But I do, and I want growth. Like that is a huge value for me. Health is a huge value for me. Freedom is a huge value for me, and growth and expansion is a huge value for me. Those are what I want. That's what makes life worth living. I'm like, I'm only here for a short period of time. Why do I want to be here? I want those things. I want presence. I don't always want to be in my head thinking about needing to grow and expand. Like I want to be rooted and present, and I want to like juice the heck out of my life. I want to get the most out of it. I want to feel the most, even if it means feeling pain. I want to grow the most because it means I get to see things in new ways. I get to look around and like look deeper. I love that. Not everyone does. But probably if you're watching, you do too. So good for you. Like, good for you. And triggers and tests means growth. Growth is happening and or growth potential. So that's awesome. I have some folks who have commented. So that's wonderful. Tamaya says, so we're talking back to triggers. Tamaya says, mine is a preference. My trigger is that people don't listen to each other. Oh, yes. Yeah. So is that a trigger or a preference? I think you were saying that's a preference for you. And absolutely. And I think I know that's a very valid, like, yeah, you prefer for people to actually listen when you speak, for you to actually listen when they're speaking. It's a skill that not everyone has. I hear you there. Sacred Space Center. Hi, I made it. Yay, I'm so happy. Awesome. Dana H. I've had some tests, and from the tests came some deep knowledge. When I try to share and educate people on what I've learned and they aren't at the place to receive it, reminds me to stay in my own lane. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's so true. That's why it's really beautiful to have gatherings like this, even if they're online, even if I can't see everyone, I wish we were all in a room together, like drinking our tea in real life. But even though that's not the case, it's still beautiful to know that like we get it, we get it. And not everyone is ready or wants to take things deeper. And that's okay. Like I really believe everyone has to be ready. My son, I'm going to talk about my son again. He wouldn't mind. Well, maybe he'd mind, so I won't say much. But yeah, he's not there, and that's okay. And I have other people in my life who we just don't talk about this stuff, and that's okay. It kind of is painful, but I have people that I can't talk about it with. Tamaya says they don't see each other, lots of them just doing and saying their own stuff. Yeah, I have that. I will say from a personal perspective, and I struggle with it too, which actually feeds into one of my tests that I recently went through. There's a family group who, when I visit them, it feels like everyone is just spinning in their own little orbit, in their own little orbit, their own little universe. It's like no one's really listening. Like you said to me, like no one's really hearing. They may ask a question, but then if someone answers, they're already on to the next thing, right? And so everyone's just kind of doing their own little thing. And that's really hard. It feels defeating to be like, well, why the hell should I even try to open up to, like, why? Why am I even here is how it can sometimes feel. And so I just want to see you in that. If that's your experience too, I get it. And it's definitely a thing. So yeah, acceptance and surrender. Yeah. That's what we have to, so much of this work is acceptance of what we cannot change and of the people who aren't ready to go there or talk about it or have these conversations. That's okay. And we just accept that that's where they are and we continue on our own path. Hirako Kuyo says, recently I'm being triggered by people around me always complaining and seeing everything in a bad light. Yeah, that reminds me of my shirt. So I'm wearing this shirt today. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't see it. The lighting is pretty bright. Sorry, my cold is like really coming at me right now. But my shirt is balance. It's like the yin yang symbol, the yin yang symbol. And it's very much like, I like it because it's like light and it's a little bit darker. And I actually struggled in the past because in this world of spirituality, I think a lot of us have been almost shying. Okay, I'll just speak for myself. I am naturally kind of an effusive, bubbly person. It's just who I am. And I think some people can take me as silly or fluffy or like, oh, she's just so, happy all the time. Like, I don't know, like one way. There's a lot of sides of me personally. I have light, I have dark. I don't always show that dark side, but it's there and there's that balance. But I think sometimes I used to actually become ashamed of this light side that is so pronounced in me. And especially in recent years, I feel like there's been a lot of talk about toxic positivity and spiritual bypassing and, going only looking at the positive and like, that's not okay. And I agree. We need to look at all of it. Like we need to let out, like when we hold inside our anger, our deep emotions, it manifests as physical dis-ease, autoimmune issues in our body, tension, etc. We need to look at this stuff. We need to deal with all aspects of life. We can't just wash over everything and pretend like everything's fine. Absolutely. But sometimes I can feel bad for the light sides of me, the sides that don't always want to talk about the pains and the negative, the things that are more challenging to deal with in this world. Like, I don't always want to be there. I don't always want to live there. And it doesn't mean that I'm bypassing or I'm whitewashing over it or I'm doing toxic positivity. It's just that there has to be a balance, the yin yang, right? There has to be a balance. We can't always be in one place or the other. We need both. And so I just want to see you, Hirako, in saying I'm being triggered by people around me always complaining and seeing everything in a bad light. Yeah. And Hilda says, for me, it was that people can burn you down for your opinion and don't allow everyone to have their own opinion. We can just be best friends, even if we have different opinions. No need to burn someone. Yeah, totally. Oh, hey, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Hilda, yeah. I hear you. And I mean, a lot of that is, literally like witch wounds, It's deep in us as women, especially. I mean, there was a time in history where thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of people, especially in European countries. In America, we always talk about like the Salem witch trials. That was a very small number of people who were actually killed in Salem, Massachusetts, versus the tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, who were killed, tortured in Europe over a span of several hundred years in witch trials. This is a real thing that's in our history, it's in our DNA. And you don't want to have different opinions or stand out or be an outcast. You don't want to stand out. You don't want to be different or weird. This is, it can be in us to like hide if we have different opinions, or to, again, you kind of said like, it was that people can burn you down for your opinion. Yeah. And so this is a real thing. And it is very triggering when that is still happening today, because it's like, friends, the witch trials are hopefully over. Of course, there's still places where this is happening. Hippo Video says, I've recently broken a relationship with a friend because she just isn't interested in mental progress like I am. I think that you win some and lose some people in your life on this path. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to honor you in that big transition of friendships. It's so hard. I'm going to just say it from my experience. It can be hard to make friends as an adult. I think when we're younger, it's a lot easier to make friends. There's more social situations between school and, I don't know, things that we do as younger people. And then as we become adults, it can be more challenging. And also people become more set in their ways and we move on. Some of us move on differently than others. And so it is hard when we move on and our deep friendships don't move on with us. I see it as like a caterpillar and a butterfly, like the caterpillars are kind of moving along together and then one of them morphs into a butterfly. And it's hard for the butterfly to stay with the caterpillar, The caterpillar can come on up, but they don't always want to. It's not always quite ready. It's not always their time. And so just honoring you through that tough transition. And there are absolutely new friends waiting for you on the other side. But I know it's a hard time right now. So I get it. Nikki says, so good to see you live. I love this rather than us on the ground tilting my pelvis. Exactly. So for anyone who knows me through my Vibrant Pelvic Health workouts, this is a whole different thing. Okay, so I want to just briefly talk about those tests. This is so fun for me. I hope you're enjoying this because I'm like really having fun. I won't keep you past the hour, but I just want to talk about tests real quick. Sip. I hope you're taking a sip too. Okay, so through To Be Magnetic, TBM, that thing, that program that I mentioned earlier, I learned about tests. Tests are cool. They're a little different than triggers. They're like a situation, especially they come when you are on a growth path, when you're progressing, when you're up leveling, when things are starting to change, when maybe you've had some manifestations, you've put in some things out there to the field, to the universe that you want to change. And the universe, there's no pass or fail. It's not like a pass or fail test. And certainly nothing is punishing you or anything like that. But it's basically like saying, are you going to settle for what you settled for before? Are you going to settle for where you were before? Or are you ready for the next evolution? Has your self-worth, has your self-value caught up to the point it needs to be at for you to have that next expansion, that next place of growth, that next place of health, that next place of love or relationship or whatever it is? Has your self-worth caught up yet? Or are you going to settle and go back to what you did before, right? What is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking something's going to change, right? But we live our lives that way. And especially if you're not on a growth path, you don't even realize you're living your life on Groundhog's Day over and over and over, doing the same things, and wanting things to be different, but you're like, you still do the same thing. But then you're like, no, I'm going to make a change. And you start to make a change and you start to see results. But if you're like subconscious patterns and self-worth and self-connection, which is where I come in with like hands on the body, because truly that physical somatic self-connection with like your inner interoceptive awareness, your deep For women, especially, this deep womb wisdom, even if you don't have a womb, even if you've had a hysterectomy, this deep sense of center, this creative power center that you have in between your hips. Women, like, feel that right now. Woo! It's like, woo, right? It lights up if you're connected. And anyone watching probably is connected. So you're probably like, yeah, my yoni is like screaming at me right now. It's going, woohoo! It's having a yoni celebration, right? That's a power center. That is the progression that you start to discover as you grow on this path. But anyway, if you're still kind of like, pieces of you are kind of stuck in that like not quite there yet place, you may you may have these tests that come up for you, and you may have a hard time with them. You may find yourself really struggling with these tests. And so I am still working through all of this. So I'll tell you that, again, these tests are like, you've put out there what you want. You've put out there what you desire. But then the test comes, and it's like, are you going to settle for what you settled for before? Or what you did before, from a place of less self-knowing, less self-connection, less self-worth, less self-love, less self-knowing, less trust in the universe, less trust in yourself. So for me, no, before I say for me, I want to say from the TBM girls, TBM people, they have two types of tests. One is an opportunity test, and one is, so coming back to those triggers. So an opportunity is like, for example, this may not apply. These are just examples. But like an opportunity test would be like, you are putting it out there into the field that you want to manifest this dream partner, a love relationship. And so you have all these desires, and you find these opportunities are coming toward you. Maybe these guys or people you're going on dates with are like, they're opportunities, right? And they're great, but they're not quite right. Like, there's a little red flag, but you're like, you could look past it, but are you going to settle? Or are you going to say, no, this isn't it, and trust? Like, that's a test. That's an opportunity test. So that's one example. Or maybe like there's a house that you're manifesting, and you find the house, but it's just not quite right. And you keep finding these, they're just not, but it's like, well, and sometimes we do just accept and move on, and that's okay. But it's also possible in the field of possibilities that we say, no, I'm not going to settle for that. I feel strong and firm in knowing and clear and confident that there's something better out there for me. And that would be you potentially passing that universal test. So that is an opportunity test, a trigger test. And I'm curious, as I go through these, if anyone wants to put in the comments, if any of these are like ringing true for them. Hold on. I'm really struggling with my voice. Okay. A trigger test is when it's essentially, it often repeats over and over again. And it's kind of like when you're being triggered by something. You're starting to expand. You're starting to see where something in your life is out of alignment, and you're noticing this trigger come up, and it's a test. Like, are you going to essentially fall for that trigger again? Or are you going to move past this with grace? And again, these aren't pass-fail tests. You haven't lost. You haven't done anything wrong if you don't pass this test. But the idea is, it's like, it's showing you something. There is an opportunity for you to grow past it, or for you to kind of get sucked back into it, and then probably for the test to come back again in the same way. So I recently had 2 trigger tests. I'm going through them right now. So one is actually in relation to my business. And this one is just being like really transparent. In December, I basically stopped. I said, and not in a super public way, but I put it on social media, that I was done creating new YouTube videos. And also this just came to me one day. I was like, boom, hard and fast line. I'm done. I'm done with the new YouTube content. And I love my Vibrant Pelvic Health content. I truly believe and love it. My programs, my courses, etc. But I wanted to put more time, energy, and effort into my Breanne Grogan content and the hands-on care that I'm now offering here in this healing house. So my in-person hands-on care. It's a whole new type of business and where I want to spend my energy. And so I made this like line in the sand, essentially. And I've kind of dabbled, I've kind of played with this, like switching over between the online courses and vibrant pelvic health stuff, and then this new hands-on care, new type of way of working with people in a more holistic way. I've played with this. I've kind of talked more about it in some of my courses. I've kind of wibble wobbled, but this was a line in the sand. And I said, no, December, I'm done putting such significant energy into vibrant pelvic health. And I'm going to stop making videos, etc. So the test is that I literally had the worst. It's like literally a universal closed for business sign went on my sales. I made no money in December, and it's scary. We just built a house. We have a lot of expenses. And I say this only because it's very vulnerable for me to say this, because I don't like talking about money. It feels weird. It feels weird, but I'm just saying it because this is a test. This is me. I have to be strong and centered in myself with such firm knowing to say, am I going to settle for like, oh, never mind, I'm gonna start doing more YouTube videos again. I'm like, do I pander to what I don't feel aligned with anymore? I just don't. I don't want to create more content about pelvic floor exercises on YouTube. I love my courses, Overcome Pelvic Pain for Women, Lift for Prolapse Relief. I stand by them 100%, but they're out there doing their thing, and they're still for sale, but I don't want to actively promote them as much as I want to talk about this new stuff. And I don't want to create new YouTube videos that are about pelvic health only. I'm not going to do it. And so I could, and I find myself wanting a little bit, waffling, I'm like, well, should I just say never mind and just go and make new YouTube videos and try to do videos that are going to go viral about pelvic floor stuff and really like look at the algorithm and who knows, ask AI about what I should post so that it's a popular video and really try to go that route again? Or do I stay the course, even though I've literally made no money this month? It's so terrifying, but I'm staying the course. And so to me, this is a trigger test. It's triggering all of my wounds of insecurity that if I don't talk about pelvic health, I'm not valuable. I have nothing to share with the world. I'm not worthy. It's triggering my worthiness wounds. It's triggering my who the hell am I wounds. If I don't talk about pelvic health, if I'm not Dr. Bree, who am I? And why does it matter? Why do people care? Right? It's triggering scarcity wounds, financial things coming up, family of origin, wounds of like, well, as a child hearing, well, you have the things you love and then you have your work. And you've got to do your work because it doesn't matter if you don't like it, but that's what you need to do to pay the bills. And then you can have your hobbies on the side. Bringing up that. It brings up so much. And the answer that I'm learning and I trust is that you have to breathe and be and move through it. And so I have to sit with myself and literally breathe into my hips and widen into my sitting bones and trust, because I have this deep trust in knowing that this is where I'm going. So it's like, come hell or high water, this is where I'm going, is this new path, this new direction. And my vibrant stuff is still there for anyone who wants it, but I'm not actively growing it. I'm actively growing the new direction. And I really do. I trust with every cell in my body that it's happening for me. It just hasn't caught up with me yet. And that's okay. So I say this because I'm literally going through it in real time. This trigger test is happening and it's painful and it's scary. And my remedy for it is to sit with it, to not bypass it and be like, oh, everything's fine, everything's going to be fine. No, to say, this is fucking scary. This is scary, you know? And I trust myself. I know I'm valuable. And I'm breathing into my hips. And I'm looking at myself in the eye in mirror work. And I'm saying, I am worthy. I am significant. I am enough. These little things matter. They tell the universe you are serious about the up level. So that's how you pass the test. And I'm actively working on it right now. So that's a test. And maybe I guess that's the main one. I'll just leave it there. I won't talk about the other test I'm going through right now that had to do with my sickness. But the nutshell summary version is it's basically often these trigger tests repeat themselves over and over again. And I will say that every holiday, Christmas holiday, when we go home and visit family, I get sick. And to me, it's very much this repeating trigger of me. I realize that I need to self-express more clearly my needs around the holidays, which really don't fall in line with the traditional kind of commercialism and overindulging that often comes along with Christmas, which is the holiday that my family celebrates. And I don't align with it. And every year I get sick. And so to me, that's like a trigger. It's like your body sort of saying something's off. It's like you're triggered, you get sick. And so I'm going to break that. Next year, we're going to do things differently. I don't know how that's going to look, but I'm just not going to get sick again over Christmas because it happens every year. And I feel out of alignment every year with the way we choose, because of family members, we end up celebrating Christmas. It doesn't align with me. And so I'm going to pass the test next year. I didn't pass it this year. Okay. I'm done with my stories. I would love to read in the comments. So right now I'm going to take a sip of tea and then I'm going to look in the comments. And if anybody would like to share their own tests that they're going through right now, what a beautiful opportunity for us to really support each other and like see each other in this, because this is big and it's real and we're all going through it. And then maybe I'll pull one card because I had this Oracle deck. It's the Beauty Oracle deck. It's actually a new one to me. But I thought it could be fun to pull a card for what's ahead for the year, if we want to kind of think of it to 2026 or to whatever resonates with anyone watching a replay in the future. Because I don't know, this deck is kind of cool. I've played with it a couple times and it's really grounded. Like it has specific, like action steps you can take. And for me, beauty is actually a big intention for 2026 as I look toward the year ahead. And I don't mean physical appearance beauty. I mean like beauty of life. I feel that in my, like, I feel it in my vagina. Like I feel the like this exhale, this deep remembering of the beauty of life, of what it means to be alive. The beauty of life, that beauty way is what I'm going for in 2026. And so I thought I'd pull a card. So I'm going to shuffle these cards and take a sip. This is a chance if you want to put in the comments, I'd really love to read out loud what you have to say. And I want to thank you again for being here. I think most of you have been here the whole time and it's awesome. I just lost a card. I am so happy. I am so happy to be doing this. Like, this really means a lot to me, to be able to express myself in this different way that's not what maybe people are used to or expected out of me or whatever. Yeah, it really means a lot. So thank you. I'm going to let you keep typing things in the chat, and I'm just spreading out my deck. Okay, before I pick a card, let me just see if anyone has anything to say. So much good stuff. I don't know if Hippo video. I have a habit of saying that if I had lived at a different time, I would have been a witch. Yeah, totally. A witch or a wizard. Yeah, absolutely. Hilda says, I had moved and longed for new friendships, so I started after 4 years of hesitating, a women's circle. Wow, good for you. You know, that's where we're going. That we're going to in-person gatherings, and you don't have to be a like trained facilitator to start your own women's circle. I'm starting one too. I did my first women's circle in December, and I'm doing another one in January. It's going to be monthly in my new home because I live in a new neighborhood now. And so I'm doing that too, and it's a little scary. There's nothing more vulnerable than inviting people to something. People might not show up. You know, people might not like it. Again, the more you know yourself, the more you can sink into the width of your hips, of your body, the more you can literally feel into your own womb space, the more it's okay. Like you're good. No matter what, you're good. So good for you for starting a women's circle. I think it's amazing. And Hilda says, wow, Brie, this is so good what you're doing now. Keep on going. Amazing. Thank you. I will. Hippo says, you're just entering the next stage in your life. There'll be some turbulence, but that's part of the change. Absolutely. Yeah. Hirako says, I'm very much feeling your feelings. I'm in the process of starting my own little art business, and it's so triggering and brings out the worst insecurities I didn't even know I have inside of me. Oh my gosh. That makes sense. I mean, with art, especially to me, my work is also art. Like it's not painting or drawing. It's a different kind of art. But I mean, even my YouTube videos on vibrant pelvic health, which some of them were more like dancey or like, you know, they're creative expressions and they're of your soul. Like they're from your soul. They're your heart. It's like your art is your heart, right? And so to put your heart and your soul out there on the line for other people to see is scary. And so I just want to see you in that and say, amazing. You can pass this test. You will. It's amazing. You've got this. And Cami, I love you, Cami. I'm assuming you're the Cami I know well. Cami, I got sick at Christmas no matter what. I get sick at Christmas no matter what I do. I'm chilling with my cat. He's still out of it from getting stitches yesterday as I recover from a full week of illness. Yeah, I don't know what this virus is, but it is annoying. My husband has it too. And so we've termed this particular virus Captain Annoying because it's just like, it's not bad enough to keep you in bed for the day, but it really sucks. It just lingers and lingers and lingers. Hirako says, I try to tell myself to trust in the universe, and I'm very grateful that I get deeper inside through that hard process. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Dana enjoys this hour every week. You guys are, I'm so glad you're loving this. Next week is going to be another, for anyone watching, watching live, I've scheduled out a bunch of topics that are on my heart. They might change, but they might not. So if you want to look at like upcoming live streams, you can see what's on my mind to chat with you about in the future. And Kim says, I was triggered at an event last night and how I'm exploring things that are coming up within me that I need to acknowledge and learn how to live and grow through. Yep. And, you know, I think it's probably okay that I say this, but no. Sometimes we are triggered because we are choosing different paths than other people, because we're choosing different ways of eating or ways of living or ways of, you know, moving through the world. And again, it sounds so cliche, but it's like, you got to be your own best friend. You got to hold your own hand through the process as you are different. If that's a trigger for you, I have no idea if that relates to Kim right now, but when we're triggered at events or whatever by making different choices or whatever it is, like we have to hold our own hand through the process. Cami says, yep, it's me. Hi, Cami. Hilda, the women's circles, I do them for 4 years now. Oh, great. Sorry. For some reason, I thought they were brand new. It all clicked when I started a circle with the same women who wanted to be there every month. Suddenly it was a success. Yeah, exactly. Again, like you can't preach to people who don't want to hear it. You know, it's kind of like the people who like flail the signs around. Like, you know, those weird sale people who have like a sale and they have this weird like sale signs that they're doing like flips and twirls and they're twirling the sale sign and they're like in your face about the sale. Come in this store. We have a sale. We have a thing. Come see it. or they're trying to hand you a sample at the mall. If you're not wanting it, you freaking avoid them as much as you can. You do everything you can to walk to the other side. Like, we can't be those people. We can't be the sign flippers or the sample givers to people who don't want it. Like, they have to be moving toward us for it to really land. If people aren't moving toward us, if they don't want to be there, it's not landing. They're just going to avoid us and like steer clear and go to the other side of the room. And so let's just all make a promise to not be those weird sign flipper people and the sample hander outer people. It's not worth it. Okay. I want to honor everyone's time. And so I'm going to draw a card, and I'm tuning into the collective here. So I don't know what's going to come up, but I'm tuning into the collective, everyone who's watching live, who may watch the replay in the future. What do we need to know about the beauty way? What would serve us best about the beauty way moving forward into the next phase of life? What would help serve our bodies, our hearts, and our souls the most? So I see a spread in front of me, and I'm just looking for the card that is calling my name, the card that's like standing out, and I have to feel it. Okay, I feel it. I feel it for this card. Okay. I got to look it up. So here's what the card says. Release, spirit. So let me look this up. I have no idea what this means. Like I said, this is a newer deck to me. So I'm going to look it up and I'm going to read it out loud, and maybe it will resonate with you. So, okay. This is exciting. Release. And I mean, that's what we did at the beginning, right? We breathed in gratitude and then we released what we were ready to let go of. We exhaled and released. This is awesome, by the way. I love how right on these picks are every time. Okay, release. The time has come to let go of an old way of thinking. Perhaps you're already doing this, but you are still struggling with the empty space left from this release. It's only human to want to fill that space. But I challenge you to sit in the void and see what arrives for you. Maybe you would like to mourn what it is you have given up. Or perhaps you still have questions about why you felt the need to let go in the first place. There are no wrong answers. Isn't that just what I was saying about the test that I'm going through right now? I think it is. I think I just said that for me. I hope it applies to you too. Okay. So sit in the void and see what arrives for you about your release. Hecate is the picture on the top. Hecate. She is the Greek goddess of magic, witchcraft, ghosts, the moon, and the crossroads. You have come to a crossroads in your life. Hecate appears and asks that you willingly release what feels safe, familiar, and known so that you may reach the unknown depths of your soul. While it may feel scary, allow Hecate's torch to illuminate your path. She brings to your attention that it is not where you are going that's important. It is the journey itself that carries true wisdom for the soul. Fabulous. It's not where you're going. It's the journey itself that carries true wisdom for the soul. Kind of like it's not the test or the trigger. It's like what you're learning from the expansion and the up level, how you pass that test or how you don't, and then go through it again. That's okay too. Okay. The next thing is the color orange. This high energy color, and by the way, I have to say this, I don't know if you can see it. My tattoo is of the Svadhisthana chakra, the second chakra, which is right here. So just so you know, that's kind of cool for me. This high energy color, which is associated with the second chakra, Svadhisthana, represents vibrancy, enthusiasm, and excitement. It represents the sunset and the sunrise, symbolizing letting go of the old and bringing in the new. Absorb its warmth and strength as you navigate through a release of something or someone in your life and feel elated about what's on the horizon. Bring orange into your life to renew your zeal for living again. So how can you bring orange into your life? Think about it. I have some really great, let's see if you can see it. Look at that nice orange on my wall. I don't know if you saw that, but I have some nice orange that I'm looking at right now. Orange is also associated with the sacral chakra. The second energy center is strongly related to our sexuality, sensuality, and fertility. The sacral chakra is all about letting go, movement, making way for new life, and ultimately allowing the feeling of transformation to course through the body. A blocked sacral chakra can create emotional instability, a feeling of being out of control, a lack of creativity, unbalanced sexual energy, and codependence. You may be feeling disconnected from yourself and others. Bring the color orange to help unblock your sacral chakra, connect with your sensuality, or promote fertility. And I'm also going to add to this, breathe into your hips, breathe into your yoni, breathe into your anus, breathe into your sacrum. Inhale and expand. Exhale, expand a little bit more. You can breathe in, and you can even breathe out through your feet. So, so powerful. You could also breathe in and imagine the color orange expanding in your pelvis, and then exhale, imagine it flowing out if you want. Okay, carnelian is the crystal associated with this card. This reddish orange stone comes to you at a time when you need the confidence to let something or someone go. You may have known for quite some time that this situation or habit has not been serving you, yet you question whether you are capable of releasing it. Maybe you have recently mustered up the strength to finally let go of something or someone significant that is causing you pain. In this case, carnelian comes to you and brings with it vitality to help you recover from feeling depleted and dispel any apathy you may be brewing. Allow this crystal to unblock and balance your sacral chakra. Okay, well, I've got some carnelian. I've got to go put it over my sacral chakra, put it over my womb space, and just like lay there for a few minutes after this incredible conversation. I'll show you the card one more time. So we have Hecate, we have the color orange and the sacral chakra, and we have carnelian. Okay, that's your assignment. Time to release, time to let things go and bring in the new as we're ready. I'm not an expert on the zodiac and the Chinese, New Year and the astrology of the Chinese zodiac. But I know that we still have actually some time before the year of the snake transitions to the year of the fire horse. So it's not like New Year's Day is this like day where everything changes. We're still shedding, we're still releasing, we're still, probably moving through these tests. And we always will be, honestly, we always will be. But it's really beautiful to know that we're doing it together in community. And I love your guys's comments in each other here. You guys are so cute, so sweet. Okay, sorry, I need to not just read because anyone watching the replay is like, what is she doing? Anyway, I'm just reading through the comments. I want to say thank you all. It is 12:13, so it's been an hour and 13 minutes together. This has been beautiful for me. Thank you so much for being here. I see some hearts coming up, and that makes me so happy. So thank you, thank you. I hope you'll join me next week. Yeah, you're welcome, Hilda, for this new way and for creating this connection for us all. Yeah, we are sisters. If you can't find them elsewhere right now, we got each other right now, okay? So loving you all. Happy New Year for those of you watching live, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, take some time to integrate after this call. Take like a breath or two. Don't just immediately go on to your next thing, okay? Just take a breath or two. That's really important. Okay, bye.